Hi there. Welcome to my channel. I'm Clarice and I'm a child development teacher, board-certified lactation consultant, and early education advocate. And today we'll be discussing how to teach your toddler or preschooler to follow directions so they actually do. Stay tuned. Let's start with a couple questions. Do you have a toddler or preschooler who ignores you every time you ask them to do something? Do you feel like you're constantly having to repeat yourself, or you end up yelling out of frustration because they're not following your direction? You know it's not a hearing issue, so what is it? It's taking a closer look at your communication. Your child's brain is still developing, so your goal is to communicate in such a way that they not only understand what you're saying, but they also follow your direction. So here are 7 strategies that you can start practicing now. First things first. Get down to your child's level. Children get distracted easily, so you need their attention first before you speak. You want to avoid talking to them across the room. Get close to them. Sit, squat, bend down, so you're at eye level with your child. When you're standing and hovering, sometimes children feel uncomfortable or there's more space around them, so they easily get distracted and they tune you out. The second tip is say their name. This is an easy way to get their attention because by this age, they're able to respond to their name. So start with bending down, and if they're not paying attention to you, say their name. The third tip is be mindful of your energy. Children are very observant and they pay attention to everything about you. Your vibe, how you act around them, your body language. Are you calm? Are you happy to see them? Do you enjoy talking to them? They sense it if you do. Your body language alone says a lot. So when you're speaking to them, face them. Keep your arms open. Don't cross them like this when you're speaking. It makes a huge difference in how they respond to you. The fourth tip is be mindful of your tone. Children respond better to a confident, melodic tone. So notice I didn't say loud. Saying things with confidence doesn't necessarily mean you need to be loud. It's actually better if you aren't competing with other sounds and speaking loudly. It becomes really difficult for a child to pay attention to what you're saying. Also, think about the melody of your tone. It means you're emphasizing certain words you say, adjusting your speech, and slowing down, so your child pays more attention to what you say and gives them a better chance of understanding your directions. I'll give you an example. You're speaking to your 2-year-old and you want them to get their shoes. So there's a very big difference between saying, let's get your shoes versus let's get your shoes. Sometimes I'll add in a fun melody. Shoes, shoes, where are you, shoes? Repetition helps with language development, and making it fun and silly sustains their attention, and it makes it more likely they'll follow your direction. The fifth tip is give simple, concise directions. Young toddlers can follow one-step directions. Put the toy in the bin, get your toothbrush, bring your bunny. By age 2 to 3 years old, they're able to follow 2-step instructions. Pick up your shirt and put it in the hamper. The next tip is pause and use gestures for support. It takes time for toddlers and preschoolers to understand what you're saying. So give the direction and wait a couple of seconds for them to follow it. If they seem like they don't understand and they're not following, use a physical gesture along with your verbal direction. For example, put your dishes in the bin as you point to the bin. This added communication makes it more likely for them to understand what you're saying and follow your direction. The last tip is use questions, statements, and directions appropriately. When we set boundaries with children, we give statements and directions, not questions. The boundaries are necessary and must be done, so we don't give children the opportunity to answer yes or no. For example, if it's lunchtime and you eat together as a family, instead of asking your child a question like, do you want to eat lunch? We say it as a statement. It's time for lunch. A direction can be added to that too. It's time for lunch. Please wash your hands in the bathroom. Notice the boundaries we set and the directions we give are not offered as choices. Never offer a choice to a child if there really isn't one. If you ask a child, do you want to eat lunch? You are offering them a choice. They could either say yes or no, and because you offer that choice, you will need to honor it. Now, Is there such thing as asking appropriate questions? Absolutely. Appropriate questions can give your child some freedom within the boundaries that you set. So for example, you can say, we're all done with lunch. It's time to clean up the table. Which would you like to put away first, your cup or your plate? You know that whichever choice they choose, you are fine with it and you're able to honor it. When they are given some control over what's happening, they are much more willing to cooperate and collaborate with you. So combining statements, directions, and questions effectively allows you to become a better communicator, and your child is much more likely to follow your direction. I hope you're finding this type of content helpful in your parenting journey. If you haven't done so already, please support the channel by subscribing, and feel free to send me an email if there's any parenting topics you would like me to cover in future videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye.